Today, our topic is on energy, work efficiency, and productivity. When we talk about energy, we often come across this term called energy efficiency. By definition, energy efficiency is how much energy output you get compared to the input energy. Strictly speaking, energy is neither created nor destroyed, so the input energy is actually transformed into different forms. Part of it is useful, the other part is actually lost. So the energy efficiency is actually the ratios of how much useful energy with respect to how much energy you put in. Let us just look at an example of an engine in a car. The input energy is the chemical energy of the fuel, and the output energy is the mechanical work. A lot of the energy is actually lost as heat, so the efficiency we're looking at is the amount of mechanical work divided by the amount of chemical fuel. For a typical vehicle with combustion engine, the efficiency is actually very low. It's about 20 to 25%, as a lot of the energy goes to heat. What about the case of a light bulb? Here, the input energy is the electricity, and the useful energy is actually the amount of light that we get. So efficiency is defined as the amount of light divided by electricity. As you know, a light bulb actually is relatively inefficient because much of the energy goes to heat. So for an incandescent lamp, the efficiency is typically only 5%. The newer technologies such as LED efficiency are higher, around 40%, as more of the energy goes to the light. Can we now use the same principle to look at efficiency of a person? Strictly speaking, the input energy for a person is the amount of food that you eat, and useful energy will be the amount of work you do. So by definition, the energy efficiency of a person will be the amount of work divided by the amount of food. Does it really mean that if we eat more, we can get more work done? Unfortunately, that is not the case. Why? Because a human being has a storage function. The more food you eat doesn't mean you get more work done. A lot of the food actually goes to fat, and that's why you gain weight if you do that. But this is not what I want to talk about today. Instead, can we define something different called the work efficiency? Right? We look at the efficiency, which is the amount of work. Instead of looking at the input as the amount of food, can we look at the amount of time that is taken in order to do some work? We are efficient if we get more work done. So what affects this work efficiency? Somebody may say that they cannot work well because they are too hot or too cold. Do these external conditions, such as environment, temperature, humidity, noise, affect your work efficiency? In order to find out, we can do some experiments to show that. In particular, I found a very interesting experiment that was conducted in a call center to see how temperature affects office work performance. In this case, they actually measures the number of calls that can be handled by an operator with respect to room temperature. And here's the results. If you look at the temperature around 21.7 degrees, the operator can actually handle the most number of calls. If they change the temperature of the room to hotter or colder, we see that actually the operators are not able to handle as much calls. So what this means is that this human being works better around 22 degrees Celsius. Now, here is the excuse to your boss why you cannot work efficiently. But let's be more realistic and instead ask the question, how can we improve our work efficiency? If you look at the formula, it tells us that if you want higher work efficiency, we should get more work done in a fixed amount of time, or we get the same amount of work done with less time. It is actually a question of concentration, prioritization, organization, and planning. Are we really thinking carefully when we're working? And how much time are we really wasting when we're doing the work? Even if we can improve work efficiency, we can ask a more philosophical question. Is getting more work done necessarily good? If we really think about it, are all the work we do really necessary? And can we eliminate some of the work that is not important? You end up spending a lot of time doing work, but not all the work will help you achieve your goal. So we should be focusing on the critical things that can get us closer to our goal in the quickest way. And we should be focusing on what is real work. For example, if we have an idea, It is actually not work done unless we carry out the idea. If we talk about a problem, that is also not work unless we are solving it. And if we complain about something, that is also not work. Correcting the situation is. And very often nothing gets done unless we do it, so let's set our mind to do it. And productivity will start when procrastination stops. At the end, if we want to improve our work efficiency, maybe we should ask ourselves the following questions. First, are we setting realistic or reasonable goals? Second, are we prioritizing our work? Third, are we organized such that we can find whatever we want whenever we need? Fourth, are we managing our time properly? And finally, when we're doing work, are we really focused on what we do? We will talk more about these, in particularly about procrastination, time management, and others in our next videos. Please stay tuned for them. Thank you. Bye-bye.